I think sometimes we forget, or maybe it's hard to imagine or remember, that people had lives just like ours before we even got here. It's an odd thing, I know. Give me 120 seconds, I'll just tell you what I mean.
Do you ever wonder what a Gen X thinks? Welcome to Gen X Slices.
I look back at my life and I think, okay, well, when I was a teenager and I dated and there was girls, we went to movies and concerts and we'd go to the beach and hang out, or you drive up and you go camping, you go to a lake or a river. And then get to be in my 20s and you get married and you're young and stupid and have no money, but you have kids. You have a couple of kids and you're working every day and you're trying to get going in life, and you still go to birthday parties and there's Christmases and you try to go swimming and do your thing, and you raise your kids and you go to basketball games and dance recitals. And then in your 30s, you move on to thinking about the rest of your life and how you can earn enough money to invest in retirement. And you go through all these things and you look back on your life and you think you can clearly remember all the things you've done to make a big, complete, full life. I'm not saying it was great or it was good or bad. I'm just saying you can recount what you went through at different stages of your life. It's hard for me to imagine my grandfather doing that. My grandfather, in my mind, has always just been my grandfather. But it makes sense with such wonderful advice he gave me over the years. He had an opportunity to share with me things because he'd lived them. It's hard for me to imagine my grandfather at 18 trying to go on dates with my grandmother, and he's got that twinkle in his eye and he's driving down the road in his Model A and maybe his Model T, and he turns the radio on. It's hard to think that he didn't want to get up on Saturdays to mow his lawn, and he didn't like washing his car or working every day. He had a job at the post office, and grind that out for 40 years so you can get your gold watch and your retirement package. And then he went camping all the time. He had a little camper on his truck that him and the family, they'd go places, and he had a full life. And it's hard for me to picture sometimes when I see people that are older than me in my life that I can see them actually. I don't see them at the full life they've led, and they still had things in their 20s and problems in their 30s, and they still had the joys of going to their son's baseball games on the weekends, which turned out to be my father's baseball games when he was young. And sometimes I think we forget, we don't keep in place correctly that old people, our grandparents and great aunts and uncles, they aren't just old people passing away. Even though that's the point in life that we entered, that we saw them as. I think sometimes it would be a good idea if we could really try to sit and listen to them tell their story, and listen to the struggles and achievements and the crying and the happy times, and get a complete picture of the life they led before they're gone. May sound silly. I'm sure you're not going to share this or pass it on. I don't even know how many people are going to listen to the end of it. But it struck me this morning that the people in my family that are in my life that are aging, I think it's important for me to sit and listen to try to understand the fullness of their life that they lived as much as I understand my own. I don't know. You do what you want. I'm just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.